Welcome to Tales Untold. This second story comes from Maine. When I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. We lived in a low-income area that wasn't exactly sketchy, but from time to time, had sketchy people living there. I was friends with a girl a year older than me, we'll call her Jane. Jane and I were about 11 or 12 at the time this event took place. My parents were really the only parents in the neighborhood that cared where their kid was at any given time. I guess that's not totally fair. A lot of parents in this part of town were single and doing their best. Some of them anyway. It was hard to work a full-time job and keep an eye on your kid when you couldn't afford a babysitter. Anyway, a new man had moved into our complex about a month before everything went down. We'll call him Tim. Tim was the complex's new maintenance man. I supposed he had a live-work arrangement with the landlord. He was friendly enough. He liked to joke around with the kids and invited us all in to watch movies. I never did go in his place, but my friends did. I wasn't allowed to do that with anyone, stranger or not. My parents knew what kind of people were out there, and they warned me. It would be my neck if I got caught doing anything like that. I'd usually just go home and hang out when my friends decided to do that stuff. One evening Jane and I were walking around. It was warm out and I remember this cool breeze hitting us. A reminder that fall was coming. We'd been talking about Halloween costumes we were interested in, and how stupid we thought our bus driver was. Innocent kid stuff. It was getting darker, and the yellow streetlights flickered on. We didn't have cell phones to remind us to get home on time. You came home when the streetlights came on, or it was you're behind. We rounded a corner where Jane and I would split off. She lived on the far south end of the street, and I lived on the far north of the street, and that's how we lived. Totally opposite. I had a mom and dad at home waiting for me, and she was lucky to have her mom home from work. I used to think about that sometimes on my walk home. Just as we were about to hug goodbye, Tim opened the door to his place. "Hey girls," he greeted. We replied hey back to him, and I started to walk away when he said, "Wait, hang on. You girls want to come in and watch a movie? I have popcorn." Before I could say no, Jane said yes. I looked at her and Tim said, "Great. How about you," motioning to me. Another cool breeze hit us. "No," I said. "I have to get home." Jane started to walk to Tim's doorway, and I grabbed her arm gently. "Didn't you want to come over to my house?" I asked. Even at that young age, I knew this didn't feel right. It was way too late for him to be asking kids into his house. It felt off, it pulled at my stomach, and my eyes were begging her to come with me. "No," Jane said, "I want to go to Tim's." I asked her again, "What about that project we have to work on?" She pulled away slowly. She had to know what I was doing, right? We'd all watched the same after-school specials. But I guess in the end she trusted Tim. Again, she refused. I watched her go into Tim's, and he shut the door behind them. I went home with a sinking feeling. All of my senses were heightened. I told my parents, and they called Jane's mother, who said, "Oh, that's all right, Tim's all right." The next day a few of my friends and I walked past Tim's place and he had the front door open. He looked pale and grumpy. There was Jane, sitting on his lap. Not like a kid, but like a lover. It was just a few weeks later that Jane's mother caught Tim taking advantage of Jane. She never called the cops, she just yelled at him. My parents made me stay away from him and kept me inside most of the time unless I was with a bunch of other kids. To this day I still get chills thinking about that moment. That one moment in time where if I had made a different choice, and had gone in with Tim and Jane, or went in without her, how my life would have turned out. I'm successful, independent, and happy. That moment paved her path for the rest of her life. She is not successful, independent, or happy. She made some really bad life choices after that. Makes you think.